car fire occurs near the USF campus, the Pandora radio founder visits Sioux Falls, and the theater department prepares for its next show. All this and more coming up on College Week.
From the Jeske Fine Arts Center on the campus of the University of Sioux Falls, this is College Week. With Brandon Sandoval, Mary Eggstad, and sports with Brett Geese.
Good morning, I'm Brandon Sandoval.
And I'm Mary Eggstad. Thanks for joining us. Yesterday, Mayor Mike Huther shared more on his vision for the new event center with Sioux Falls at the City Council. After much controversy, the City Council has decided that a direct comparison between building onto the existing site and building a new structure downtown should be compared side by side before any decisions are made. This analysis will encompass real estate values, potential tax revenue, and the ability for each site to guarantee future development and benefits for businesses. The next Event Center update will be given at an informational meeting on December 13th.
The University of Sioux Falls has transformed into Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. In honor of the release of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1, USF has declared Harry Potter Week. It started Thursday night with a sorting hat ceremony where students were sorted into the 4 Hogwarts houses, followed by a start-of-term feast. Other events will include the Harry Potter movies, trivia games, and Quidditch. The week will close with the midnight showing of the movie.
Most students spend their nights studying and relaxing. However, recently, a handful of students were shaken from their normal routine. Alex Bainey reports.
This was the scene on the USF campus this past Tuesday evening. Students were shocked to find 2 cars on fire outside Sullivan and Faith and Living Center. Cameron Keyes came on the scene and says she reacted by instinct.
It was a little bit of panic at first, but I was kind of calm and collected. There was a few other people that had come around the building with me at the same time. And so I just picked up my phone and I called 911 right away.
The car belonged to Colin Ringling, a sophomore at USF, and he says he had just left the car.
I was inside, just got back from the movies with a friend, and went inside, gonna do some accounting homework. Was sitting in a guy's room, got a phone call. Jill called me and was like, "Hey, your car's on fire." And I just kind of thought it was a joke right away. And I was like, "All right." And she's like, "No, come outside, seriously." So walked outside and saw the fire trucks, and there my car was.
Authorities believe the fire started in the engine of Ringling's car before spreading to the car in front of it. Although Ringling's car suffered major damage, he is optimistic.
I'm insured, thank God.
For USF College Week, I'm Alex Bainey.
Coming up next, we take a look into a business founder's recent visit to Sioux Falls. Don't go away.
Academic excellence, inspired talent, Christian values, athletic champions. This is the University of Sioux Falls. Proud to be with you the whole way.
Last Wednesday, the founder of the internet radio site Pandora hosted a town hall meeting in Sioux Falls. Stephanie Kurtz has more.
In recent years, internet radio has become gradually more popular. From college kids to the elderly, more and more people are turning to sites such as Pandora for personalized stations. Pandora Radio started in 2005, and since then has reached over 6 million listeners. Founder Tim Westergren started the station with the idea that people could have their own personalized radio based off music genomes. Years later, as a successful entrepreneur, Westergren offers advice for students.
I think the first one I'd say is kind of believe in the power of your ideas. I think that a lot of college kids aren't really trained to sort of pay attention to ideas they have. They're generally put on a track and said, you're on this major, you're on this sort of professional track. And when things come along that they think of or an idea, they sort of let it go by. And I say, stop and notice it and decide, well, is this something I ought to spend some more time doing? And the other thing I'd say is find someone to do it with you. If you want to pursue one of these ideas, there's huge strength in having at least one partner to sort of share the burdens with you. So find someone else you trust who is good at things you're not good at, and make a team out of it.
Former skeptic Billy Schlatter says that after hearing Westergren's presentation, he is excited for the future of Pandora.
I wasn't really into it. I did some research before I came here, but being able to pick out of that genome, being able to pick that up and within a couple of months know exactly, be able to play my moods. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, and I always hear people talking about, hey, Pandora picked this great song. I'm going to try that out.
Pandora is a free service open to all U.S. citizens. To create an account or to learn more about its services, visit Pandora.com. For College Week, I'm Stephanie Kurtz.
This past Tuesday night, the Entrepreneurial Studies Director Ryan Van Zee held a mixer and brought in a few guest speakers. With more on the story, here's Robert Bartell.
This past Tuesday night, the Entrepreneurial Studies program at USF held a mixer to bring a little attention to the minor. Ryan Van Zee, the director, brought in a few guest speakers who he says speak to what this minor is all about.
Tuesday night, we had a mixer, and a lot of students understand the importance of networking but don't have a lot of chances to try that out. So we had a mixer, and with that mixer we had a panel discussion. On that panel discussion we had a pastoral entrepreneur, Jason Folkerts from Central Baptist. We had a social entrepreneur, Vicki Green from Lifelight, and then we had a business entrepreneur, Fred Prater, who has Education Pros. And those individuals talked about you can have a lot of different ideas, passions, and ways of expressing them, and not just in a business light.
USF senior Tiffany Adams, who attended the mixer, says that to be an entrepreneur, you may not always be able to plan what happens.
I kind of took away that yesterday they really taught us that everything just kind of happens. You can't plan as much as you would like to, and I'm a big planner, so that was good to know that, because right now I don't know what my plans are. So it was motivating for me that it'll all just come together when it's supposed to.
Ryan Van Zee also tells us what this program is all about. He says that the students in this minor already have the drive and the information. They just need a little help making it a reality.
One thing about entrepreneurial studies is we can't put that drive inside you. If you have that drive, if you have that idea, if you have that passion, then we can look at bringing it out of you and turning it to a reality. So a lot of the classes are different for the students because they're used to the opportunity just to gain information. Here, they already have it inside, so in a way, they're learning how to release information that they already have inside them.
If you are interested in this program, contact Ryan Van Zee at ryan.vanzee@usufalls.edu. For College Week, I'm Robert Bartell.
A new production is underway for the USF Theater Department. College Week's Dylan Dwyer reports.
With the semester coming to an end, the theater department is putting on its final performance. Kim Bartling, the theater professor at the University of Sioux Falls, says how the play All My Sons inspires her.
Well, in Introduction to Theater every year, I let the students ask me questions as to what they want to know about theater, and inevitably I always get the question, what is the one play that you loved the most? This play, All My Sons by Arthur Miller, is the play that I probably had the greatest catharsis with, and so I've really had my entire career, 24 years of teaching, where I've been waiting to direct this particular play.
TJ Polzine, a sophomore at USF, says what the play is about.
Joe Keller owned a factory that made airplanes for the Air Force in World War II, along with his partner Steve. And one time, when they were shipping the engines out, a bunch of them had some problems with it, and eventually these engines made pilots die in the war. Steve, partner, gets put into jail. And so Steve's family is now pretty mad at the Kellers. And that's where the fun begins.
Bartling says the play challenges us to answer the pressing questions of where loyalty lies.
More than I want to be able to come and see that this is a play about family. It's a play about family's values. It's a play asking the question, how far do you go to protect your family? What are you willing to sacrifice for that? And I think that we all at some point have to deal with some of those questions. When do you decide that enough is enough? and you have to speak out against things that may even be happening in your own family. What kind of loyalty is that?
For College Week,
Why don't you ever arrest anybody?
I'm Dylan Dwyer.
The show opens on Wednesday, November 17th at 7:30 and runs through Saturday, November 20th with a Sunday matinee at 2. For more information, call the box office at 605-331-6787.
To raise money for invisible children, a group of students hosted the first ever Mr. USF pageant. Michelle Jacobs has more.
Welcome to the first annual University of Sioux Falls Mr. USF Pageant.
Last Friday, students gathered in the Jeske Auditorium to watch 10 men compete for the title of Mr. USF. Co-creator Amanda Robin explains how she came up with the idea for the pageant.
My cousin's school did them like in high school and stuff, and we saw it one time, and I thought that was a fun idea. And then I've always been kind of involved with the Invisible Children program, and one day I decided that it would be fun to combine the two and raise money.
Junior Stacy Spildy says how they got the contestants for the pageant.
Well, we actually put up posters around school, and we held a meeting where only one person showed up. So we took matters into our own hands and went around and recruited people.
Senior Eric Perry Kovac says why he wanted to be part of the first ever Mr. USF pageant.
Well, I thought this would be an excellent opportunity to show that I'm better than a lot of other people, and that my dominance is, obvious here.
Judge Karen Sumner says she has high expectations for the candidates.
Very hard. It's Mr. USF. This is the first Mr. USF pageant ever in the history of USF. So we will be judging very, very hard.
All proceeds from the event went to the Invisible Children charity. Robin explains what their mission is.
It's a program that is dedicated to helping the kids of northern Uganda. They've been in a 20-plus long civil war over there, and a lot of the kids don't even have homes. And so they are really trying to build schools that have like dormitories with them so that they have a place to live and a place to get a good education.
4 out of the 10 contestants placed in the pageant. Matt Reek won Mr. Congeniality, Nathan Lippert was the second runner-up, Christopher Hull was the first runner-up, and the winner of the first ever Mr. USF pageant was Nathan Schlatter. For College Week, I'm Michelle Jacobs.
Coming up after the break, reporter Joshua Duncan sits down with Dean of Students Karen Sumner. Don't go away.
Academic excellence, inspired talent, Christian values, athletic champions. This is the University of Sioux Falls. Proud to be with you the whole way.
Good morning and welcome to another edition of Crosstalk. I'm Joshua Duncan, and joining me this morning is a very special guest, Karen Sumner. She's the Dean of Students. Good morning, Karen. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you for having me. I'm great.
Karen, it is always a pleasure to sit down and talk with you. How's things going with you?
It's good. It's good. I love to be on College Week, so thanks for having me.
College Week loves having you. So, Karen, you are now the Dean of Students. You've been that probably for about a year or so, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I think I technically got the title. We know that my title changes here quite frequently, so yeah, I think I have been.
You've probably worn many hats at USF over the several years. What's that been like doing all those things?
It's been fantastic. I started, I think this is my 9th year, and I came back in 2002 to just say, I'm around. If you guys need me, let me know. And so I started out as the assistant campus pastor part-time and am now the Dean of Students and, have worn a ton of hats in between there, but it's been a great experience.
Well, USF loves having you around. I mean, I think you're a strong fixture here in the USF community. And not only do you help out in the USF's community, but you are on ministry staff at a local church too?
I am. I'm the director of community life at Community Reformed Church part-time, and then I'm also a chaplain at Sanford Hospital part-time as well.
Wow, you need a cape behind you because you just, I don't know how you do so much. It's just, you're extraordinary with all your talents.
Well, thank you. It's fun because I get paid to do most of my hobbies.
Right, and
so it works out.
Not only that, but you're having fun doing it. So
Absolutely.
It's not really work for you.
No, not at all.
And one of the latest adventures you're on is, well, you've been going into Haiti, right? You're probably going on your 3rd trip.
Exactly. This is about a year ago. I started this whole Haiti adventure, and I've been twice. I actually go again next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday, wow.
With a group of friends.
So, but you went in there before the earthquake, right?
Exactly, right. And it was already devastated. So then to go back in March post-earthquake and see the exacerbated devastation there was pretty remarkable. The people there live with nothing, literally nothing. You know, no shoes, no food, no place to lay their head at night, and it's pretty crazy that is so close to us geographically, but lifestyle, it's so foreign to us.
Now, a lot of people aren't prone to jumping out and going on missions trips. What's something that tugged at your heart to go on a mission trip like this? Or
I've always been involved in missions. I think I was 16 when I took my first trip to Mexico. I actually thought that I would be a missionary at some point, full time. I feel like I am, but it's different than what I thought it would be. And I've always just been an adventurer and a traveler, so to be able to go to places and help people that are in need and have that be my adventure is pretty amazing. So I'm blessed to do it.
What's one thing about taking students with you that you've seen happen in the lives of students?
Well, in Mexico in particular, it's just so eye-opening that you can cross the border from the U.S. to Mexico and have life be so different there. And the same is true of Haiti. It's a short flight from Fort Lauderdale or Miami to Port-au-Prince, Haiti, but the life that is there is a world away.
About how much does it cost to go on your trip?
Pretty much it's around $1,000. We work with an organization called Mission Haiti, which is based out of Tea, South Dakota, and we pretty much just pay for our flight, which is usually around $700 or $800, and then just a few $100s to help pay for just some of the expenses of the travel there is kind of difficult.
As far as students wanting to go, how would they get in touch with you with going on the trip?
Well, I would love to take students more in the future. I'm starting that adventure in January with our accelerated nursing students. Their capstone project is to travel to Haiti with me. So I'll be taking the first USF students in January. But in the future, I would love to take other groups of students for spring break or next year. We could even go over kind of an extended fall break.
What's something students can expect when they go on this trip?
We do a lot of vacation Bible school types of things. Mission Haiti runs about 5 schools that hold between 700 and 1,000 students each day, just depending on who can make it to school that day. So we feed them, we clothe them, we give them shoes, we do vacation Bible schools, we do medical clinics, all sorts of things that, deworming medications that need to happen. We take pictures of all the school kids every year and hopefully get them sponsorships here in the U.S. so they can continue to go to school. So there's a lot to do. Yeah, this trip next week we'll be distributing clothes. So just going from school to school and finding kids that need clothes on their back and finding clothes that fit them from our suitcases of stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, certainly, Karen, you're on one of life's greatest adventures when you're giving your life out to people and helping those who can't help themselves. So thank you for your labor of love. It's surely not overlooked.
It's exciting. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And again, if you want to be a part of this, the future mission trips, email Karen at karen.subner@usiouxfalls.edu. And thank you for joining us this morning with another edition of Crosstalk. I'm Joshua Duncan. Next up is sports with our sports team.
Do you need to pick me up in the morning, at noon, or late at night? Java City is the place to go. We have coffee, smoothies, and a wide variety of foods such as bagels, sandwiches, fruits, and salads, and the occasional treat for your sweet tooth. Whether you just want to relax with your friends or do some homework, Java City is the perfect atmosphere. We are open Monday through Fridays and closed on Saturdays and open again on Sundays. We are located in the lower level of the McDonald Center. Come see us today.
It's not like we don't know how to party. Yeah, all right, let's go.
Hey guys, what's going on? Oh, not too much. Just watching some TV. Awesome.
Really cold morning.
Yeah, but there's nothing good on.
Majeski Fine Arts
Hey
Center on
guys,
campus of
College
the
Week is
University
on.
of Sioux Falls. This is College Week.
This is your celebration. Celebrate good times, come on. Let's celebrate. Celebrate good times, come on. Let's celebrate.
And now it's time for sports with sports reporter Brett Geese.
So Brett, sounds like history's being made in a couple different sports this year.
Yep, there was a record tied in football, and USF men's soccer did something they've never done before.
Awesome, can't wait to hear about it.
Last week, senior wide receiver John Ryan tied the school record for touchdown receptions in a season. Former head coach Kalen DeBoer is tied with Ryan at 20 touchdowns in 1 year. Not only does Ryan have 20 touchdowns catches this year, but he also has multiple touchdowns in 8 of the 9 games this year. So go catch Ryan and the rest of the football team today as they take on Concordia. Kickoff is at 1 p.m. at the Sanford Sports Complex. On to soccer news. The University of Sioux Falls men's soccer team escaped the GPAC tournament semifinals against Dakota Wesleyan with a clutch 1-0 double overtime win. USF junior Yeyu Amare put the ball in the net in the 102nd minute for the only goal of the night. Junior Cody Lutz hit the wide open Amare with the pass to set up the game-winning goal. With this win, the men's soccer team advances to their first GPAC final in school history. Today, the Cougar men will travel to Hastings, Nebraska to take on Hastings at 6 p.m., with the winner receiving a bid to play in the NAIA National Tournament in Orange Beach, Alabama. Now in cross-country news, the men and women's cross-country teams had a successful day at the GPAC Championships last Saturday. Both the men's and women's team finished 6th place, but individually it was a great day as well. On the men's side, freshman twin brothers Bobby and Billy Bruckmuller finished 4th and 8th respectively to earn automatic qualifications to the NAIA National Championships. On the women's side, junior Ashley Unruh finished 8th on her way to earning automatic qualification as well. Nationals are on November 20th in Vancouver, Washington. And now I'll turn it over to Sam Tastad, who has an inside look at men's basketball.
It's the middle of November, and that means basketball season is underway. This year, both the men's and women's team have high expectations. Men's basketball coach Chris Johnson explains what those high expectations mean to him.
Those preseason polls, they don't really mean anything. I'm worried about where we rated in March when we're going into the national tournament, hopefully, and those kind of things. But yeah, there's no doubt that we have a lot of guys back and that the people in our league think we have a chance to be pretty good.
The men's Cougars are returning 4 or 5 starters from last year, including third-team All-American Matt Malloy. But according to Coach Johnson, this year it'll be more of a group effort.
Then we have a lot of guys that are more than capable. Dave Maxwell, James Rader, Skylar Block. We have more guys that can pick up the slack than we did last year. You know, last year we depended on Matt and Thomas Frame so much for everything we did. And this year it's more of a group effort. So I like our chances when we have an off night from our top guys.
And an off night is what they had. Saturday against Dakota State, being down by 20 points at half. Coach Johnson explained what he had to do and what the team had to do to get back and win the game.
To be honest with you, I mean, I got after him at halftime and then calmed myself down and tried to calm us down and said, you know, you have to believe that you can get this done. Otherwise, there's no reason to go back out on the floor. And we really just talked about winning every 2 minutes of the second half. Because where we got in trouble against Bellevue is we got down and we tried to get it all back in one shot. We looked like a panic basketball team.
And hopefully they learn from their mistakes, because on Sunday they traveled to Dakota State. Coach Johnson described what they would have to do to go on the road to win.
We just have to have a more mature mindset going into the game. We know what they're going to do. They know what we're going to do. There's not a whole lot of secrets involved. We just have to play well, because when you're on the road, you got to play even better. You know, it would have been harder to come back from that on the road. At least we had the home crowd to help us through those tough times in the second half.
And Coach Johnson is grateful to fans and gave this message.
We'll do whatever we can to make sure we put out the right product on the floor for our fans to get excited about. We've got to give them a reason to show up and then be loud, and we promise we'll do our best to do that.
The men's basketball team will be in action tomorrow against Dakota State. For College Week Sports, I'm Sam Tasted. Back to you in the studio.
And now, College Week's resident movie critics Brett Geese and Cameron Keyes sit down to discuss the recent release of Due Date.
Welcome to another College Week movie moment. I'm Brett Geese.
And I'm Cameron Keyes.
Today we'll be reviewing the movie Due Date, starring Robert Downey Jr. and Zach Galifianakis.
It is rated R for drug references, sexual content, and language.
Due Date, to sum it up in a sentence, is the story of Peter Hyman and Ethan Tremblay's journey across the country.
Peter's wife is expecting a child by the end of the week, and they're both kicked off the plane and put on a no-fly list, so they have to drive from Georgia to Los Angeles.
And just knowing Zach Galifianakis from The Hangover, you know he's a goofy guy. He carries that role with him very well.
Yes, he does. Going into it, I didn't really have high expectations. I mean, I figured it would be a good film based on the trailers and who was starring in it, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a great film. I thought it was hilarious, and I would definitely go see it again in theaters, which is saying a lot since, you know, movie tickets are $8.75.
Exactly.
But, overall, how many stars do you think you'd give it?
I would actually give it 4 stars because, I mean, the combination of Robert Downey Jr., who's known to play the white-collar, I wear a suit to work every day kind of role, and Galifianakis with being in The Hangover, you know he's a funny guy. So that combination between the two I thought was excellent.
I'm going to give it 5 stars. I thought it was great. Comparable to Hangover, but I think even better than The Hangover. I appreciated that it was a little bit cleaner than The Hangover, but I still thought it was really great, and I would highly recommend going and seeing it. Due Date is now playing in all Sioux Falls theaters.
This has been another installment of College Week Movie Moment. I'm Brett Geese.
And I'm Cameron Cleave.
Back to you in the studio.
And that wraps up another edition of USF College Week. I'm Mary Eggstead.
And I'm Brandon Sandoval. And from all of us here at College Week, we wish all the veterans a happy Veterans Day.
Academic excellence, inspired talent, Christian values, athletic champions. This is the University of Sioux Falls, proud to be with you the whole way.
It's not like we don't know how to party. Yeah, all right, let's go.
Hey guys, what's going on? Oh, not too much. Just watching some TV. Awesome.
Really cold morning. You woke
Yeah,
up and those dogs
but
were
there's
licking
nothing
your
good
face.
on.
From the Jesky Fine Arts
Hey
Center on
guys,
campus of
College
the
Week is
University of
on.
Sioux Falls, this is College Week.